Is this a difficult video, Kostas?
Yeah, it's actually the time that we tell them that...
Are we having like a creative? What does like the rock bands have? Like a creative clash? Like when the like you know,
Man,
the guitarist
drama. Listen,
the guitarist doesn't agree with the lead singer
exactly.
and no, I want to do this song and no, we should do this song.
Exactly. So actually, I think we have all the layers of drama. So first of all, there is like internal drama. So
the internal drama that
is where is Sergio, why the car is not finished.
Sergio that got so offended by the carpet thing.
And actually,
decided to quit.
Not just Sergio. Where is Thomas? Where is Andrea? Where is all these fucking Wallabians? Where they were?
Is this because we are dicks? Apparently, I've read it. Actually,
I was never included in that.
The comment said 2 dicks.
And then I've not included in the dicks club. I have to clarify this. But anyway,
still, in the comment you were.
And then I was. That was a viewer that doesn't understand. And I have to tell you something. The problem is not just that. We are doing podcasts and like top 5 lists.
Yes.
And we have again like a seed box.
Yes.
One that normally people don't like, but they kind of like, but we are not really sure.
Like this time.
They didn't like it this time, but they liked the previous time. So there is also that happening. And then at the same time, as you know from our managers, they said that we should do collabs with other channels. So
like
and there's all these people that we hate.
The creative studio behind the production behind us clearly said this is not working. You guys are alone on camera, it is not working. So you have to bring a third person. We thought about Sergio, but he quit.
And then we tried this dog.
We tried the dog.
The dog actually worked fantastic.
But they don't know about the dog yet.
So do we explain this to them?
We did an interview with that dog. No, let me rephrase it. We did an episode with there was a dog present. So
we did an interview with a dog.
we did a video with the dog.
That is a movie. It's called Dr. Dolittle. He speaks to the animal. So do we do this?
It would be great. If now you could take some of it and like dub the dog.
I'd like to go in manually.
What's he saying?
You don't want to know.
Who is Dr. Dolittle? Am I the animal?
You are the doctor.
I'm the doctor, you're the animal.
Yeah.
What animal are you today? What do you feel like?
I feel like a small puppy.
Actually, this works fantastically. We want to actually talk to you. Sorry for this intro. None of what we heard up until now is true. And we said we want to make this video very small, but apparently it's not happening.
Impossible.
Okay. None of what we heard up until now is true. We basically want to talk to you about something cool and creative. We have these new things coming.
Yeah. We, for the first time since the Wallapiro's inception, we decided, and I think you've seen it, to be like more like scheduled and more structured and having a video. So we began with
one video every Friday.
One video every Friday. Then we added this
2 videos per week for the last 2.5 months. So.
Yeah, for the last 2.5 months, you've seen 2 videos per week. One being the podcast, and then the main, I would say, episode of whatever we were doing.
The podcast worked fantastically.
Actually, I have to say, the podcast had great engagement. I really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed the people commenting, and as I said, the engagement was really good.
This is something that we both enjoyed a lot. Actually, the fact that we got to read your comments and understand you a little bit more.
It was really cool.
Actually very cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm not no jokes here. Like I'm not trying to get your sympathy or.
This is why we did the puppy thing.
I'm not gonna launch a Patreon right after. So don't worry about it. But
since Gab mentioned it, actually we can speak openly about this. It's clear that it didn't work, and since we cannot launch a Patreon and we don't have a shop and there is no big views to have like monetization that would support the channel, we are actually a bit
also because we cannot even put. You've seen the problem also with the ads. Then when we let the algorithm do its thing, then it makes them unwatchable. So we
anyway, our model absolutely doesn't work. But that's a different problem for a different day. Anyway, the thing is that we don't really believe that the podcast can exist in the current form of the channel. But while this was happening, we have already planned these new things that you are gonna see now, and Gab's gonna explain a little bit more about like each of them because there are like two different things. We were planning this already months ahead, so it's not like the podcast is not working and now we're dropping this. It's actually sort of an evolution.
Yeah.
And we want to see a little bit how you are going to react in all these different kind of content. So down the road, like in September or in the end of the year, we understand a little bit what could work because we need to find like a formula, like we would like to have like a one lap hero thing that is like many things, you know, because we do enjoy the chatting part.
Yeah.
And we do enjoy talking about like used cars, and we enjoy talking about new cars.
I think I really enjoy doing the podcast. To be honest, it wasn't something that I said, oh shit, I have to do it. Like I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because it was always a good conversation, and it was always challenging to some extent to see what we could do and what not, and so in this sense, but I also understand it. So I also understand, like after the fact, I also see it, and this is such a big video with so long.
1 hour. I would say
it's normal. It's normal that it couldn't direct. So there are some technical aspects that he is more familiar with than I am. For why
it's not working.
Why it's not working, and why it not working. Or rather, continuously doing it while it's not working could be a problem. Hence, we are experimenting with other things. And actually, I had personally like interaction with some of you guys, where I openly said we are completely open. We are actually experimenting with the channel. So you see many things that are different to one another, and not because we are like schizophrenic, but it's because we are a little bit. But what I'm saying is that eventually, bottom line, we are trying to find a little bit what works, and we are trying to just feel it. You know, we go a little bit like the lights is off, and we are going like this, and we have to just go.
There is a benefit for you because the moment we have like a recipe that can work, that actually means that we can create videos for a longer time.
Correct.
Because eventually, you know how it is, and it has been for us. Like, this is our hobby activity. So, of course, there can be like 3 videos when we have something to do, and then we disappear for 6 months, and then there are another 3 videos. And for some people, that is perfectly fine. But if we would like to have something more, like a way like that we communicate more often, exactly, we have to find like a structure that works. Which leads us to the new things. So the new things are 2 completely different things, but at the same time, are the same things. So for you that you actually came back home and you put the podcast playing there and you had like one chill hour of conversation and you did enjoy that, there are actually a couple of hundreds of you that felt like this, that reached out to us. This, in a way, and don't think that we don't appreciate it, in a way that by itself is like a small success, you know, like having like 100 people or 200 people to actually chill and watch us talk for 1 hour. We don't take it for granted. It's very cool. So this is not going to be lost because one of the 2 things we're doing is an evolution of the podcast. It's basically, again, a podcast with guests. It's like long-term interviews. You can decide how. We don't even have a name for it, you know. But basically, we're gonna get a couple of people that we think that they're interested.
So we are actually gonna get people that are different than us. So like, we didn't want to have like, because the worst thing that we could have done is to just get another one of us, like whatever, like somebody that would agree or would do the stuff exactly like we would do it. And then this would automatically steer the conversation in one single, so it wouldn't create anything new really for us or for you either. So we are just reaching out to people that we find interesting in their own merits, not necessarily because we would do the same things or in the same way, but it's just because we appreciate them as people, as professionals. And a mix
of things, because it would be very easy that we only do like racing drivers, you know, and we have like interviews with people that actually race cars, and of course we would find this interesting, but probably you wouldn't. And we could only do like people that they're like in the area and they do like internet things, because that is also like a thing, and we're gonna have a few of them for sure. I would actually tell you that since we have done more than a couple, we're probably gonna start with this. So I was personally as Kostas, like I found very fascinating how we are here at the ring. We are like 4 or 5 of us like creating content around here, and we do it in a completely different way. So I was actually very interested in sitting down with people like Dale or like Misa, you know, and actually discuss see where we have like common grounds, where we think things differently. And since this have already been filmed, I can tell you that there are some very interesting conversations.
Like I to be honest, we shot a few with people that are completely different from one another and people that are completely different from us, but all of them were thoroughly enjoyable. And I really believe that you will enjoy it too if you give it a chance, and I suggest you to.
Exactly. So the next time that you see a One Lap Hero podcast, it's not really going to be a podcast. There's going to be a guest, and it's going to be like a different thing.
Yeah.
And you should actually watch it and give us some feedback and tell us if you would like to see.
Or if you don't want, if you like to see more or less or whatever.
It is also a great time to tell us which people you would like to have in this position. So,
Yes.
for example, like if you have like someone in mind, like someone that is interesting and maybe doesn't get the spotlight, and or someone that is interesting and gets it's a lot on the spotlight, but from a very specific angle. So you'd like to see a little bit behind the scenes.
Because eventually I don't want to spoil it too much, but eventually what we did is like when we had race drivers, for example, and we didn't ask the typical race driver question, or maybe we did, but we also ask completely irrelevant stuff. So like we are interested more in the person and what what drives them and what not. Actually what is interesting is that you can always track sort of a fil rouge through all of them.
For sure. And actually we found a lot of common grounds sometimes at places that we didn't expect.
Yeah, expected. Yeah.
And sometimes exactly at the places that we expect. So I found all these conversations very interesting. These videos are gonna come. I would say that the last Friday of every month there's gonna be an interview. So if you don't like to watch these things, you
Skip
don't watch
the
them,
Friday.
and everything is cool. Now at the first Friday of every month, we are gonna have the opposite. But
Is it the opposite?
For some of you, some of you, it might be considered the same, but for us, it's not. So the interviews are conversations. So they have a lot to do also with what we think, and in a way, like being there, we guide the conversation. What we are also gonna do is we're gonna do a couple of spotlights. We have done this in the past with our friend Enrique and his very cool Civic, and we have done it with Tim and his Miata.
Yeah.
So we have done a little bit that kind of form, but now we're gonna remove ourselves a little bit more.
You know why? Because you said that they wouldn't let. Actually, funny because I wasn't present to any of those, and I actually have seen in the comments that many of you complained about the fact that him and Sergio wouldn't let the guest speak. So I said, "Look, good." We said, "Okay, let's do this. Let's try to do it again." But
Take it.
one thing is for sure, Kostas, you will not be featured in the video whatsoever. So like, you are not in it. Like, you are the creator, you are behind the scene. I'm not in it either. Like, but we let the guest talk.
Are you pretending now that I'm the one that stops the guest from talking? I'm the one pushing the conversation forward.
Who here interrupts the other the most, according to you?
Do you feel, when we do the podcast, do you feel that I actually interrupt you and I cut into your train of thought? Or do you think that I'm only doing it when it will advance our conversation forward? I want an honest answer.
I think it helps with moving the conversation forward like 99% of the time.
Okay, so why do I get this?
I don't know. I've been told that the customer is always right.
Customer.
But they're not the customer, they're the product, right?
We are the product and we
They
don't
are
know
the
it.
product.
We are the product. They think that normally if this was working, they would be the product, but they are not. We are the fucking product. We are being fucked. Like collaterally from every direction. Fucked from behind and
I
from
think
the
there is
front.
nothing we said that you can put in it. Beside the interviews that will come, as we said, in the last Friday of every month, in the first Friday of every month, beginning the next month, which is July, you will see what we tentatively called spotlights. This is still our.
This is an official term.
An official name. What is a spotlight? Well, you've seen it before on this channel with Enrique's Civic and Tim's MX-5. So basically, we feature a person first of all that we like, and we feature his car, his ring tool, for example. It is not like a review of the car, so we're not gonna drive the car or whatever, nothing like that.
Let me clarify this. This is never happening in this channel.
Exactly.
So there is never the possibility that we're gonna do reviews and we're gonna drive your car. So although we get like quite a few requests, none
Not
of
happening.
us will drive your cars.
Yeah.
This is not happening.
But we are. I personally, I'm really fascinated about what makes, like, about the process that these enthusiasts go through. Like, if Kostas would not be a Valapiros, I would like to have him and ask him, what is wrong with you? Why all this trouble? And he would have.
Don't make a list.
No, and I think it would be. I really genuinely believe that it's fantastic to hear another person talking about this, because it's a voyage, it's a trip. So like there is so many things in between the lines, and actually in the ones that we did.
The first one is the perfect example. The first spotlight that we did. I don't want to spoil too much. Maybe we put like a very small trailer, but I don't want to spoil too much. But the first one we did was fantastic. It was a guy that we kind of knew. We almost felt that it would be like our kind of guy. And we didn't really have this conversation ever with him.
Yeah,
Since
never.
we exist in the same places, but we never really had this conversation with him. And when we filmed it, literally, even if we have had scripted it, it would not be that good. It would not be that good. And he was fantastic. I'm 100% sure that you're gonna love him. His passion is pure. We loved everything that he talked about. And also, I have to say this: normally spotlights, they're like cool cars, and hopefully, if you're lucky, the cool car is driven by a cool person, and then something happens. But they're like predominantly they're cars. We want the opposite.
Yeah.
So the second spotlight that you're gonna see.
So
that
imagine
is also filmed,
imagine
is
the smoking tire, but only speaking about the car.
Correct. Actually, the smoking tire without the smoking tire. Exactly. But the second spotlight that is also filmed is the opposite. Is a car that you would never see in any of the spotlight channels.
Correct.
So there is nothing special about the car. Actually, I think that there are a few special things. There is nothing special about the guy. He's not racing. He doesn't have like a big Instagram account. He doesn't have any of the things that you would think that you need in order to feature someone. And we want also a few of these people. And if everything goes according to plan, because we also have filmed like a few of them, we want to keep them all interesting. We don't want to do like the same thing. We don't want to do the same car that you have seen like already 10 times and you know everything
an
about.
MX-5 variation of an MX-5.
Exactly. Although, I'll tell you something, if the right owner comes and we have like something that we think it's interesting, you might still see an MX-5.
Actually, I want to do one with Robert when he comes.
That would have been extremely cool. But this is mainly the idea that we have a few already planned. If you think that you have a very interesting story or a very interesting car, or ideally like a combo of both, feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
Normally, we kind of know already which cars we want. And again, if we don't reply, or if you already asked us and we didn't come back to you, I want to clarify this. It's not because we don't think that you are good enough or something like this, but we are only going to do one of these per month. So basically, we are going to do like, I don't know.
So like
7, 8 this year.
Exactly.
That's that. It's not like we're gonna do a lot.
We have like how many?
There are already 3 or 4 films.
Alright, so basically we have another 4 or 5.
Exactly. So we're really gonna do 4 or 5 cars. These are gonna be longer form. They're gonna have a bit more talking that you normally expect, and they're gonna have a bit of track action, but don't expect like laps. It's gonna be like its own unique thing, and I think you're gonna love it just because the people are actually fantastic. So if we kind of love these people, I think you are going to love them as well. So that is coming.
Right, and I have to say something. I see you behind the screen on the computer saying, but this sounds like padding.
Where's the cake?
This sounds like you know, like the frosting. Where is the
meat?
The meat is happening. Although it's not happening at the speed that we wish it would happen. So I want to clarify a few things. I don't even know if this is gonna be in the final edit or not.
Look, if it's possible, I will cut it.
We have a set of limitations that we are working around, which I'm not gonna go through them and say, please understand how difficult this is for us because it's bullshit. But what I'm saying is this is a completely like a hobby project. So out of necessity, we actually have to work beside this, and this prevents us from creating.
We are not even in the same place.
Country,
so
yeah.
Gab is away. I'm busy with other things.
So sometimes it's quite difficult. Furthermore, we had some plans, and
they didn't exactly materialize.
So for whatever reason, like for example, we had some. I ordered, for example, some parts that
They are not here.
They're not here. They've been delayed like 3 weeks.
There is one build that is happening for a long time in our channel.
Yeah,
that
I don't know if you know it. There is one bit that actually all the parts are here since years.
That is not.
But
it is still okay.
It's still
we
okay.
still love the
We still
owner
love
of
her.
the build. We
But
love
maybe
him with all our heart.
maybe you will see something about this car, and then something like a project, like one of the iconic cars of the channel came
Yeah,
back.
multiply.
No, came back by the internet by storm. Incredibly rare body kit here, body kit there, super splitter, all the
me
bells and
be.
whistles, and then. There was a video supposed to come this Friday, and yet you see this, and there is a reason for it. I don't know if the owner is already ready to talk about it. Are you?
I don't want to tell them anything.
Okay, so there you
Let
have
me
it.
be.
No, but this is just to
No.
say that all this stuff is coming. It's down the line. Eventually, the
We are
Sergio SX5 will be finished. We have 2 super cool laps of
Coming.
Raquel and Andrea
Gatti.
also coming. We have the
My
PT
car,
Cruiser. The PT Cruiser
PT
is
Cruiser.
happening. Unfortunately, the PT Cruiser is proving to be more interesting of our day-to-day car.
I'm really loving it a little bit.
I'm not loving it, but as I said, it's proving to be challenging to some extent. Like,
Make sure that you go in Gab's profile and find this photo that is like in between the BMWs, and please like this and leave a comment there, please. Actually,
Fine
go there
photo.
and tag BMW, please. So yes, all these projects are happening.
Are happening. So
And at the core of One Lap Heroes, it's always gonna be our personal projects and our personal stories. But around this, we want to build this cool thing that is also other people speaking. And you have to understand that the most important thing that's happening here is that we are actually curating this. So you're not gonna just see content for content. Actually, we turned the cars down and people down. So we are actually picking everything that we are gonna present. And if you think that at some point we are selling out, or like we are presenting you someone that shouldn't be there, or whatever, feel free to comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I guarantee you that everything that you will see in the channel is actually planned and it's there for a reason.
Unfortunately, I've been trying to make Costas do videos that he didn't want to do, and he doesn't want to do them, so he doesn't do them.
And anyway, One Lap Heroes can be whatever you actually want. Exactly like we said in that big podcast. We put the work out there, you watch it, you decide what it is.
I've been told that this is vanilla thinking.
Yeah, but at the same time it's truth, so it's actually whatever you think it is.
It's true, actually.
One Lap Heroes for me is still gonna stay what I think it is.
Correct.
But I don't have to convince you that my unique view
is the right one.
is the right one. And that's a beautiful thing. We can all live with this. I think you are gonna see us
This Friday, the next
next
Friday,
Friday,
and then the next Friday
up
after this,
until the end of August or September.
I would say up until the end of the internet. So let's put it this way. I think
Am
we
I
will
gonna
go-
be making One Lap Heroes up until the end?
Alright, let's leave it like this. Costas time frame is end of August, and my time frame is
Forever.
End of the internet. So it's either in the
It's either this or
one
that,
the
or
other,
somewhere in the
between.
middle. Somewhere in the middle. And on that bombshell,
It's time to
which
leave.
you probably should not say because it's like Top Gear copyright or something.